I have been getting so many DMs, comments, and messages asking me for a review of the Google Pixel 8 Pro and Google Pixel Watch 2. So this video is going to be week 1, my pros and cons of those two devices. So I actually like to wait a little bit longer before I do a full-fledged review. I actually wait kind of like 4 to 6 months, to be honest, because I'm a real life user just like you. I do not get these devices in advance to be able to use them for a good period of time so that I have a review ready to go just days after it's released. So I'm using it at the same exact time as y'all, but I do understand that you're probably really eager to order these items. I was also very eager to order these items, and we're also coming up to the holidays, so if you're trying to gift it to yourself or gift it to someone else, you want to know the details. So I absolutely understand that. So that's why I'm going to be sharing I think about a handful of pros and cons that I have. I'm going to start with the Google Pixel Watch 2 and then I'll move on to the Google Pixel 8 Pro. So starting with the Google Pixel Watch 2, let me just quickly show it to you in case you didn't see the unboxing, which by the way is already up if you want to check out the unboxing and my very first reactions. But it looks very good. Once again, after a week of using it, it's almost identical to the Google Pixel Watch 1. But the pros. The biggest pro with this watch is the battery. I did a little bit of an experiment. So once I got the device, I charged it up to 100% and then I didn't charge it at all for 24 hours. Google's claims are that this watch can last 24 hours without a charge. So I did exactly that. It was about 5 p.m. the day that I charged it up to 100%. I waited until 5 p.m. the following day and it was at 35% after 24 hours. So definitely lasted 24 hours. It could have lasted longer, but I was really happy to see that. Now I will say the settings on my watch, I do not have the always on display and I don't have a ton of notifications coming on to my watch. I just have immediate texts and things like that coming to my watch. I didn't do that for the purpose of preserving the battery. I just set it up the way that I would practically use the watch. So with my real life use, it lasted over 24 hours and that is a great thing, especially in comparison to the Google Pixel Watch 1 where I couldn't afford to not charge it at least twice a day, even with the same exact settings on. So huge improvement with the battery. I'm so happy to see that, and that's probably the biggest thing that I can say about this watch so far. It's the biggest, most positive thing that I've noticed thus far. Now, another really great thing is that the features are really cool on this watch, and I'm sure a lot of it is software, so the software updates may come to the Pixel Watch 1 eventually, but I just want to show you the most tiniest thing that I think is a huge impact for me. Something about watches, I like that these smartwatches have accessibility and ease of use and convenience, so I can really access a lot of information from the watch without needing to pull out my phone. And one example of that is this is the watch face, which by the way is extremely customizable, way more customizable than it was before. I'm sure that's gonna change on the Google Pixel 1 watch with a software update, but this is what the watch face looks like. And as you can see right there in the center, that is the temperature. This is really small, but it's huge for me. When I tap into it, first of all, when it's on the face watch like this, it's really great to just look at my watch and know what the temperature is. I'm constantly looking at the temperature because I'm constantly heading out or doing random things or kind of structuring my day around the weather, whether or not it's gonna rain or whatever. So that's really helpful. But if I tap into the weather, it gives me a lot of information. It gives me hourly, it gives me UV, it gives me the rest of the week. This is huge for me, and I'll give you 2 examples that have actually happened over the past week. One example is that I wanted to check and see if it was going to rain within the next hour or so because we wanted to go to the park, and obviously we didn't want to go to the park if it was going to rain, and the rain has been very unpredictable these days. So I was able to quickly tap into my watch without checking my phone while we were in the car, and I was able to see that it was going to rain. So a really great real life example. We just headed home. Now the second example is that we were at the park and we were with some friends, and my friend was actually concerned about the UV index because she didn't put on sunscreen. So I was able to quickly tap into my watch, and I'll do it in real time. I'm tapping it right now, and I can immediately see that the UV is 3. So at that given situation, I was able to tap in really quickly just like that and let her know that the UV was low. And that was pretty awesome to do. She was also very impressed with that. But those little things is what makes the watch convenient and accessible and practical. And that's what I really love to see with smartwatches. Sometimes smartwatches can do a lot of really fun, lavish, fancy things, but it's the simple things that make it super practical, and that's one of those examples. So love that. Have been loving a lot more of the other features that I'm starting to notice with the watch. But again, it's only been a week, so we'll see some other things that I end up catching on to. But yeah, those are my biggest pros. Now, I've only noticed one con, and it's not a major con for me, but it might be for other people maybe. But the watch can auto detect exercise, and I think a lot of smartwatches can do that, right? But in my real life example, I went to the park and I was walking, and I usually don't manually tap in and say that I'm about to do an exercise or a workout. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. But while we were walking, it prompted me to start a workout because it noticed that I was walking probably vigorously, or my heart rate went up or something like that. So it auto detected that I was exercising, and it asked me to confirm that I was exercising. So I tapped yes to confirm that I was exercising, and then it tracked my exercise. Now the problem is that it didn't auto detect that I was exercising until a good 5 to 10 minutes into the actual workout. So I thought that that would be okay. I thought it was just like taking its time to auto detect. But once I ended the workout and I hit end workout, it did not track those 10 or so minutes when I was exercising from before. So it's not 100% accurate. And if you're someone that's really interested in tracking your exercise on that level, and you don't tend to manually enter in that you're working out on your watch, that's a little bit disappointing. But yeah, that's the only thing that I've noticed. It's not a big deal for me. Okay, but that is all for the Google Pixel Watch 2 for now. I'll keep you updated, of course. But let's move on to the Google Pixel 8 Pro. I want to talk about the camera first and foremost, and that is a major pro. This camera is unreal. I have never seen such a major jump in cameras with any of the Pixel devices. So I've had all of the Pixel devices from 1 to 8, and I've never seen that big of a jump between one phone to the other when it comes to the camera improvements. So I had the Google Pixel 7 Pro. It was a fantastic camera. I always get the new phones because they always end up improving the camera. But this has been the best improvement, and this has been the best camera I've ever experienced on a smartphone. So I'm really, really into it. The photos are incredible. They're crisp. When I do zooming out, when I do zooming in, everything is crisp. I'm able to edit really well. So I'm no longer using third-party apps to edit my photos. I used to do that, and I have done that for so many years. I am officially not doing that anymore. I'm editing everything within the phone itself and all of the software that is already embedded into the phone. The video is so crisp. It's so clear. I actually did some video taking in front of my friends, and they were like, what on earth? That is the camera was moving faster than their eyes, is what they said. So that was a really good sign for other people to notice that, and I also noticed that. If you want to see examples of this, so basically the frame rate is incredible, but if you want to see examples of this, you can head over to my Instagram. I did do pictures, I did do reels using the camera only, so you can check that out from, I believe, October 13th, October 14th onward. That is all being shot with the Google Pixel 8 Pro only. So you let me know what you think about it. I have been getting such great feedback from other people. I had a little bit of a birthday party over the weekend, and everyone was like, use your phone. We want your phone to be taking pictures of everything, because it was so impressive, and I'm so glad that I do not have to rely on third-party apps for editing and stuff like that. I have only been using the device for a week. I haven't even fully tapped into the Google Pixel 8 Pro's Pro camera features yet. I've done a little bit of experimenting, but not fully, so I can only imagine how much more I can untap once I get into those pro camera features. I'm so excited about it. Continue to check out the examples on my Instagram. That's where you're going to see it mostly, because I do videos and photos and stories all through my phone. So if you want to see examples of that, you'll see that there. But let me move on to the other pros. There are other pros. I know y'all were very excited about hearing about the camera. Me too. But the next pro is that the phone moves very fast. It moves so fast that, once again, it was so great to get this phone before having an event where I was hanging out with friends, because they were also able to give me feedback. So my friends were like, your phone is moving so fast, I can't even catch up. And even for me, when I pulled the phone out of the box and I started using it, I was doing things so quickly, I didn't even realize that I had done like 5 things in a matter of like 1 minute. The next thing is no smudging on the back of my phone. Now, I know I need to get a case. I don't want to get a case because I love the beauty of the phones itself, but practically I need to get a case. But I will say, I have not cleaned my hands. My hands have just been doing its thing for the entire day, and I have not cleaned this phone since I've gotten it. This is what the back looks like. Not a single smudge. I have not cleaned it at all. I didn't wipe it down before this video. I haven't done a single thing. Not a single fingerprint, not a single smudge. That is awesome. Once again, if I didn't have to have a case, I wouldn't even need to worry about things like that, but that's not why I'm getting a case, right? I just wish I didn't have to get a case because the color and the texture, it's beautiful. But yeah, no smudges at all. Love, love, love that. And then the last pro that I've noticed is that the display is super sharp. So another real life example, I was scrolling on Instagram and my friend had shot a really great video of like the fall foliage, and I noticed, much more so than the Google Pixel 7 Pro, that I was able to see all of the colors. I was able to really sharply see the panning that she was doing in the video. It was very crisp, it was very clear, it was very sharp. And I also noticed that on TikTok, and usually TikTok videos don't look impressive to me, but I noticed a really big difference when I started scrolling on TikTok on this new phone. So everything is looking a lot sharper, clearer, and Google's new Actua display is sort of their way of getting you to see things as accurately as possible on your phone. So that's a really great sign for me to be able to see things a lot more clear and a lot more accurately. It allows me to also appreciate the content from my fellow friends. Like, they're so talented, and it's incredible to see that actually on the display. Okay, now I'm gonna move into the cons, and I will just say that the cons, please don't take them too seriously. Be mindful when I'm talking about these cons. They are not make it or break it right now because it's only been a week and I've only noticed it on a very minimal scale. So just please be mindful when I talk about them. But the first con is that I'm noticing a little bit of overheating. Now, when I say overheating, I don't mean Google Pixel 6 Pro overheating when I had that massive issue of it being so hot I couldn't even hold it, being so hot that it would drain the battery in a matter of minutes, just me looking at it in a matter of seconds actually. We're not having any of that here. But I have noticed that when I'm doing some like really strenuous activities such as video shooting and video editing all at the same time on this phone, it does get a little bit warm. The next thing that is pretty similar in terms of the overheating, the battery. Once again, don't take this too seriously, but I have noticed that the battery on this is just a little bit less impressive than the Google Pixel 7 Pro. The Google Pixel 7 Pro, I never really looked at the battery, I never really noticed it because I never had an issue of the phone dying on me ever, unless I was using the phone really heavily on a given day, but I never had issues with the Google Pixel 7 Pro's battery. With this one, I'm still not having issues, but I have noticed that the battery goes down a little bit more than the Google Pixel 7 Pro. The reason for that is because I'm pretty sure it's because of the Actua display. Brighter display is obviously going to use more battery, and there's just a lot more going on with this phone, so it is to be expected. I don't know if there could have been a more practical solution for that on Google's end, but I've just noticed that the battery isn't as impressive. That doesn't mean that it's bad. That doesn't mean that it's terrible. I definitely don't need to charge this in the middle of the day unless I'm really using it extremely heavily. But right now, it's at 83% and it's 11 a.m. So it's not bad at all, but I have not been using the phone as strenuously as I could. So just things to keep in mind. And then the last thing is a very tiny detail, but I noticed that the face unlock, and I know I can take off the face unlock, but the face unlock is not 100% reliable, and it's kind of frustrating when you're in a situation where you want to unlock your phone really quickly. I had a situation, and it might just be the particular app that I was using, but I had a situation where I needed to unlock my phone and it needed to use the face unlock. And unfortunately, like, I was in a rush. But unfortunately, I was not able to bypass the face unlock and just use my finger or just use a code or anything like that. It needed me to do the face unlock. It didn't detect it accurately, and then I had to wait for it to be like, I don't recognize you, and then it allowed me to use my fingerprint. So it made the whole process long when I was particularly in a rush, and that was frustrating. So I know I can take off the face unlock. But if you want to have the face unlock and you're relying on a feature such as face unlock, it shouldn't be this difficult. And I will also say, like, using the finger unlock, sometimes it's also not reliable. It's better than the Google Pixel 7 Pro, the finger unlock, but still, these things should be extremely seamless. You should be able to get into your phone instantly, and for it to not do that is kind of annoying, if that makes sense. But that is all that I have for now. I hope that information was helpful, but I will reiterate that this is just first week reactions, first week impressions. I need to play with the phone a little bit more. I need to get a good feel for the phone a little bit more, as well as the watch. These things may change in the future. My thoughts on the cons may end up becoming pros, and vice versa, but we'll see. But you let me know what you think in the comments if you have the phone already as well, and you want to tell me what your pros and cons are thus far. And if you have any questions about my pros and cons, or any other questions about the phone and watch in general, let me know in the comments. I have been appreciating all of the comments these past few days. So thank you so much for chatting with me. But that is all for this week, and I will talk to you in next week's video.